Hi everyone, very exciting day today. Next to me is Jérôme Poisson, estate manager of Château Giscours.
So welcome Yannick. We'll have a beautiful tasting from all the vintages like 2010, then 15, 18 and 19 to finish.
Exciting about the two last vintages.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's the young ones that are coming on the market now, and you will see what is going on now in the chateau.
Perfect. Let's try.
So let's start with 2010. Yeah. 2010 is a mythical vintage. It's a great vintage that had perfect weather, and so you will see what can produce Margaux in this kind of years, and especially Giscours, that is famous for its Cabernet and the density of its wines. So here we are.
So the 2010.
2010. So I told you the weather was very nice. Maybe we had a little bit of on the spring we had a little bit of rain that lowered a little bit the yield of the Merlot. But then the weather was so nice. And today I have to say, after 10 years in the cellar, it's starting to reveal itself and to produce complex aromas, but still with the youth of the fruit, and that's.
It smells very fresh and fruity.
Exactly.
Yeah, indeed.
You have a ripe fruit. You have some cigar notes or something like that. The wood disappeared.
Yeah, the tannins are very. So a little bit of vanille.
And it's expressive in this moment.
But it's very delicate as well, but it needs some time, obviously. So you would advise people, if they open the 2010, to decant it?
You can decant it lightly, maybe, or you open just the bottle 2 or 3 hours in advance.
Okay.
You pour just one glass to check if everything is fine, if it's not corked or anything, and then you let it open like that for 2-3 hours. It's perfect usually. The nose, so nice.
That's great, because you would think 2010 it needs some time, but actually it's very approachable already.
And you feel it's still young. Huh?
Yeah, it's very fresh, very fruity, lovely acidity, but it's also, the tannins are very well integrated as well. So the balance is there.
Yeah, that's the quality of Margaux, you know, the elegance of the tannins, the finesse of the tannins. What I love in this kind of vintages, and after 10 years especially, is these wines have so much to tell to you, so much to express. You have the power, the elegance, the complexity. Really, it's a complete wine.
It's actually, it's a wine that has everything. Yeah. Because a couple of weeks ago I tasted the 09, and now it's very interesting to compare with the 10, because everybody knows that 2010 is a big vintage. Yes. So it's always interesting to try.
No, Denis Dubourdieu was our consultant at this time, and he said that this kind of wine is a liquid beauty. So
he's correct.
So what can you say better than that?
Yeah, indeed. And then we have another big one.
Yes. So we of course choose for you nice vintages. So 2015 is also a very renowned vintage in Bordeaux. Really, it was a perfect climate. This one checked all the boxes. It's still maybe young, but it's still already expressive. It's dense. You feel the density in the nose already. It has a little bit of Petit Verdot, which is not very usual in Château Giscours. Sometimes we have a hint of it, and it's not 1 or 2%. It's like 5%. Compared to the previous one, that was 71% Cabernet Sauvignon and just Merlot for the rest of it.
Yeah. Because I have a lot of pepper in my in the nose.
Spicy notes.
Yeah, spice. So Petit Verdot, it's maybe then just a couple of percentage.
Petit Verdot, no, it's like 5%.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
So it's not very little, but when it's good, Petit Verdot, it's beautiful, and it adds some spicy note, as you said, and some very thick tannins, but elegant, that are very interesting. And to add some of it in the blend when we can, we do it. It's not automatic, of course.
Okay. Because 2015 is for me personally a funny year, because I started buying en primeur when I was from the 2014. Okay. So and 15 was the first big vintage that I could purchase en primeur. So you never forget it, obviously. But yeah, for me it's also like, oh, when I'm going to start drinking. So always when I come to a winery and they open it, it's always very interesting, always.
Yes. But you see that it's nice already, it's expressive, but maybe it doesn't have the bouquet of the 2010.
For now.
For now, of course, for now.
That's a very strong attack.
It's dense.
But in a good way. It's a nice attack.
It has a lot of things to give you.
It's very fleshy. Actually, it's a for a 15 is surprisingly good for now to drink because I want to keep drinking.
No, of course it's a thick wine now, but it's still elegant.
Yeah.
The acidity, the freshness is there, and so it's a balanced wine.
Yeah. I don't think people will do something wrong if they open it up right now.
No, maybe you should decant it. This one really in the decanter, 2 or 3 hours before, because it needs some air. It needs some something to help it to open into you and to enjoy it at the best. But 15 is a beautiful vintage.
I like this one. Very elegant. Very elegant.
Yeah, my firstborn son is from 2015, so he's a lucky guy.
I'm so jealous of people that are born on good vintage. I'm from '93, so you can imagine, you know. But I'm very
usually for this years you find good ports or good Sauternes sometimes or something.
But I'm very surprised lately because I'm preparing for next summer. I'm preparing for a big dinner, and all the vintages are '93, and I'm starting to drink them to test. But it's actually very good. Yes. So it's sometimes very hard to follow the critics, and then you can discover some gems.
No, you know, some vintages are under-evaluated. Yeah. Some people they criticize it too much, and sometimes they are just after a big vintage, like for example 2001 or 2011, that are great vintages, but just after a huge vintage.
So they're in the shadow, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. So just rely on your sense, on your tasting, and don't follow too much the critics sometimes.
I love that, because that's the one thing that I say to everyone. I love, for example, 2014 is one of the vintages that I'm very lucky to buy it for the good price. And it's also overshadowed, right?
Yes. So, and like that you have a bargain wine and
that's good.
Good valued wine.
Always good.
So 2018. That's to show you the last production we had. In 2018 we started to change a little bit our practices. One of the big things is that in the last let's say 10 years the weather is changing, the climate is changing, as you know. We are getting drier and warmer climates sometimes in Bordeaux. That is not usual for an oceanic weather like we should have in here. So what we started to do is to identify all the young plants, you know, all the complants we are planting in our old parcels, because they suffer the first from the drought, and like that we can pick them first when they are at their best of the fruit, and they will bring some brightness to the blend, and we don't let them to suffer too much and bring some harsh tannins and they will not have the freshness they had before. So we pick them apart, and so it's a lot of work because we have to pass 2 times in each plot.
So it's like micro picking,
exactly.
Like the Sauternes, really.
Exactly, like a tree of diverse
the Sauternes et Margot, you need to be at Giscours.
So we started there in 2018 in some parcels, and we were quite happy with the result.
But that tells you a lot of the passion and the dedication of the chateau. Huh?
Yeah, but you know, it's the more you want to go to the perfection, which you will never achieve. It's every time more effort, and it's a lot of energy. But
you're also lucky with the technology. You can, you know, it's very easy to see more new opportunities to create new.
Yes, it brings you more information, and you take better decisions.
Yeah. So I kept swirling. So
2018 was dry and hot dry and hot, and you have a big vintage there. So you feel the ripeness. It's almost creamy.
It's very creamy, very
but still
velvety.
It has the structure, the acidity balance this creaminess. So it's not heavy at all.
No. It's very light. Wow, the balance is. I think it's a good word for this wine. The balance. Because it says everything.
And I think it's something that we are achieving now with a lot of work we're doing now. Maybe if it was a vintage that had happened 20 years ago, it would have been difficult to manage it. We are not used to that. But now we're getting used to this climate change, and we work a lot on the freshness and the elegance to keep it this way.
Very excited to compare it to the 19.
So
actually.
in this one, we still have a little bit of Petit Verdot, 6%.
Okay.
And but less Cabernet Sauvignon. It's just a little bit more than the half of the blend of Cabernet Sauvignon.
But I actually like that.
A lot of Merlot, you know, that feel this body and this cream.
Yeah, you feel it. But I like that the Petit Verdot is building. Is coming back a little bit more and more. I like the Petit Verdot with a certain amount of percentage in a wine. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the last. That was the last wine released now.
The 19.
So we are shipping the 2019. So for 2019, it's 65 Cabernet Sauvignon, 35 Merlot. So we don't have Petit Verdot, this one. But here in this vintage, we pushed what I told you about the picking to all our main group, our main hill, where it's the best of our vineyards. So we pushed far this approach of picking apart. And also what we did is that the winemaking is also a little bit more reductive. It means that we protect more the wine from the oxygen because as we try to pick at the top of the fruit, we try to preserve this fruitiness and this freshness by not exposing too much the wine to oxygen. And because we have nice tannins, we don't extract too much. We just extract the right amount of tannins to get velvety tannins and very soft. So you will see that in this last vintage.
Already the nose is so wonderful. I also have some floral notes, nice herbs. And
it's the precision of the fruit. It's something we work a lot on. And the wood is very well integrated for a young vintage.
It's very pure. It's hard to spit if you have like, you know, if you have a good feeling in your mouth, it's very hard to spit.
It's in 2019 also you feel the energy of the wine.
Yeah.
You see, it's in the mouth. It will reveals a nice backbone of tannins. And it's certainly a wine that needs some aging, but that will give you so much.
But it's a very nice follow-up of the 18. And then, yeah, we are not tasting it right now, but you have the 2020, also a big vintage. So it's like a very good trio. Huh?
Yes, it's a trilogy that is beautiful, 18, 19, 20. Each one is different. Each one has its own personality. But each one is very, very nice. Maybe 18 is a bit more creamy, powerful if you like this kind of wine. 19 is more elegant. It has a very precise fruit, nice freshness. And 20 is a nice blend of both with a good balance of freshness and power. So you will see nice vintages coming.
Wow. So back to the 18, if people have them en primeur and I think they're already delivered.
Yes.
How long do you advise the people to store it at their cellars?
Me, I will not open it before maybe 2023. Wait 5 years, it's the minimum I would say. And then they will reach the top at maybe 10, 15 years old. And the same for the 19. The same for the 19, yes.
Perfect. Then I have a small surprise.
No.
It's a little bit of a tradition in my videos that I always bring a blind bottle to the tasting. So it's a game. Don't feel, you know,
so
pushed.
Nice surprise.
It's a surprise. It's a Giscours. So yes, thank you. Voilà. Perfect.
So let's see.
But it's fun. It's fun.
I didn't taste all Giscours vintages, so.
But if I know Alexander,
I will discover something new.
Yeah, I think this is something new.
Wow.
This is an overshadowed vintage for sure. I like this vintage a lot, but it's a little bit overshadowed by other vintages. That's a big tip, but I'm not going to say anything more. So for the people that want to know, I already decanted this bottle, I think, for 1 hour for now. So it has all the aeration gone. So I think it's ready to go.
It has a deep nose.
Yeah. You have cigar box, you have black fruit.
Yes.
Leather. Toffee, some coffee, dark chocolate.
So it's at least 20 years old.
I don't know.
You don't know. Come on, you know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very good. In the mouth, it shows a little bit more aging, some tertiary notes,
but still the structure is not that old.
It's
the
good.
structure is fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh.
Still, yeah.
It has some complexity as well, because you have layers. First the fruit, strong attack, but you have the tannins, which are still present, and then you have the long finish. It's velvety.
Yeah, it still has some fruit that is quite impressive. But you have notes of cigar also that are a signature for all vintages. Also the color is
Nice
getting
color. Very but typical Margaux.
Yeah. Ah, it's nice.
This
it's
is
nice
typical classic Margaux.
Okay.
Another small tip.
So it's from the, what did you say? From the 90s? Something like that? Older than that? 80s?
Now, what do you think? It's a game. If you're wrong, I don't think you will be fired at the estate.
No. Yeah. Overshadowed vintage, you say? Maybe 91, something like that. It's older than that?
Younger,
Younger?
a little bit. But it's 97.
97?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you overshadowed by the 98, 96.
Yeah.
So this is, for me, it's a fun
So,
vintage.
I was not that far.
You're not too far. You're safe. You're safe. Yeah. I asked Alexander, is he longer than 10 years? Yeah, he's getting fired. So no, it's okay. 97.
Nice.
It's a surprising bottle.
I never tried it. I think I never tried it. It's beautiful.
Okay, thank you, Jérôme, for the tasting. It was very learnful, especially for the 18 and the 19. And then we will see each other soon.
Sure. You're always welcome.
Thank you so much. And for the people watching, thank you so much. If you have any questions about Giscours, you can always contact them. They're always happy to help you and to receive you also at the estate. So take care.